One of the research-based foundational frameworks that serve as the core of all Penn Literacy Network professional learning is the 5 reading, writing, and talking processes. This video provides a high-level overview of these processes, but we always encourage deeper learning and understanding by reading about each process in The Plainer Truths of Teaching, Learning, and Literacy, where you'll find a chapter devoted to each of the 5 reading and writing talking processes. One of the goals of PLN is to provide educators with a new perspective on the role of students' experience in their own educational process. These experiences, which we refer to as the 5 reading, writing, and talking processes, serve as the essential building blocks and provide a common language for individual teachers, but also for school and district-wide systems to plan effective classroom experiences, to plan grade level and content-specific curriculum goals, and to plan school-wide as well as district-wide curriculum programs. These 5 reading, writing, and talking processes are integrative. They integrate literacy skills into one sophisticated framework that really immerses students in constructing knowledge using higher level thinking skills with the ultimate goal of deepening students' learning and understanding. It's important for educators to recognize that these processes are not hierarchical. They all share equal roles in students' learning, and it's actually easier to think of them as pieces in the learning puzzle that all come together to deepen students' learning. So let's get started with going through each of the 5 reading, writing, and talking processes. The first is transacting with text, and this really is the process of reading. We define it as the process for listening to, reading, and experiencing texts in all subjects. The reader constructs meaning in print according to his or her prior beliefs and attitudes, according to their knowledge, experiences, as well as what is written in the text. So it really is this transaction between reader and text. Through this process, learners are encouraged to read a variety of texts and to experience and learn multiple reading strategies. The focus and the goal is to develop active, motivated readers who engage in reading for a variety of purposes, authentic purposes, both in school and out of school. The second process is composing text. This is the writing process, and composing text can consist of both oral and written texts. And once again, this is across all subjects. Learners experience different types of writing for different purposes. Oral and written texts are created independently as well as collaboratively. Students write to learn while they learn to write. And their writing should show evidence of their thinking and of their learning, so it's connected to what they read. It's connected to their experience. The focus here is that writing becomes an intellectual and a social activity that is fundamental to learning across all content areas. The next process is extending reading and writing, and this moves into independence and self-selection for developing lifetime reading and writing skills, once again across all subjects, but throughout a learner's life. Self-selection of reading and writing in and out of the classroom must be guided by a teacher's commitment to planning and allotting time for students to choose reading and writing activities that reflects their needs and reflect their interests. The focus here is that schools can best support students in becoming lifetime readers by helping them support them while they're still in school to choose their own texts, to give them a choice in what they read and how they read and what they write and how they write. Investigating language is the process for extending mastery of the foundational reading skills such as decoding and spelling, but then also moving into the deeper processes such as students become more independent readers, which include vocabulary and grammar. Students consider how language is used. They think about language and how it works through their reading and writing talking and listening activities, and they are investigating language. So the focus is introducing students to linguistic structures and language conventions explicitly. And finally, learning to learn is the reflective and strategic process for reading, writing, and talking. Once again, this crosses all subject areas, and students ask themselves, what have I learned? How am I learning? How do I learn? And sometimes, most importantly, how can I use these skills elsewhere? That's what learning to learn is. It's application of the explicit into all learning experiences. We want students to wonder and recognize what they're wondering about. They should ask these questions to help them become reflective and strategic learners and thinkers. These questions are woven into what you will see later in the before, during, after framework, which serves as a lesson design template for the Penn Literacy Network. The focus of Learning to Learn is to empower students to develop their toolkit of learning strategies using both oral and written language to learn independently, as well as learning collaboratively with others.